Hey guys, Collins here, and today we are back with a brand new video. Which today we're going to be going over an interesting news story that came out just yesterday. We're going to be talking about how the FBI raided Jake Paul's house. Now, this is the second time I'm going to be going over the story because new information has come to light that I kind of want to go over and talk about. So, yeah, sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this video. Now, when the story first broke, a lot of people were curious as to why the FBI raided Jake Paul's house, because at the time, the FBI was doing an investigation and could not release any new information to the public. Now, one of the more popular theories that came out came from Keemstar's Drama Alert, along with an ex-Team 10 manager who made a bunch of claims. And truthfully, it is believable, as the ex-Team 10 manager exposed the current manager, Arman Izzati, where the ex-Team 10 manager exposed Arman Izzati for basically being a criminal, talking about how he pimps, some 19-year-old, 18-year-old, and 19-year-old girls.
I have seen him have girls over to the house that used to work for him. He used to have an operation of 300 to 400 girls when he lived in Vegas, and he was a pimp. Openly told me that many times. I'm sure that the public opinion does know about this. It's all over the internet.
As well as allegedly raping one of these girls.
And I had a girl contact me last week and calling me, crying her eyes out, brand new 18-year-old girl, telling me the exact same story, that she was raped by Armani Izzati in May at some party.
Essentially because Jake Paul was associating with this dude, which is the reason why it led to the FBI searching his house for any sort of evidence or anything necessary to conducting the investigation on Arman Izzati. Now, despite all that, a new information has been released to the public. Now, I'll leave a link in the description down below to the article that I'm currently reading. And because the story is still new, the article that I'm reading could very well be updated. So I'll let you guys know in the comment section down below if anything does get updated. But as of right now, let's take a look at this story. Now, the article is titled, "Firearm Seized in Raid at Jake Paul's Calabasas Home as FBI Conducts Search in Connection with Arizona Riot Case." So guys, just as I was editing this video, new information has come to light regarding the Jake Paul FBI raid. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this has anything to do with the raid. However, I kind of want to talk about it instead of making this its own video, because that's just more fucking shit I have to edit, and I'd rather just clump it into this one single video about Jake Paul rather than making it seem like I'm milking Jake Paul or whatever. I think that'd be kind of ridiculous. So the article is titled, "Paul Tax Bomb. YouTuber Jake Paul owed $2 million in federal taxes before FBI raided and seized guns from his LA mansion." Now, not to get all too political and such, but I think owing $2 million in taxes is kind of ridiculous. No single human being should owe that much fucking money in taxes. However, you can hate the law as much as you fucking want. It's still there. It's not going to change a thing. And Jake Paul owes $2 million in taxes. Now, I just have to question, how the fuck does Jake Paul rack up $2 million in taxes? Now, I know the dude makes fucking bank, but how the fuck did he not pay it off before? Like, how are you so fucking brain dead retarded to the point where you don't have a fucking, fucking accountant or someone working for you that can handle your taxes, dude? Like, dude, it's fucking 2020. Like, if you're too dumb to do taxes on your own, why don't you pay someone to do your taxes for you? And I'm sure if you owe $2 million in taxes, at some point in time, you had enough money to pay for an accountant to do the work. And considering Jake Paul has a fucking mansion, guns, and fucking, Lamborghinis and shit, I'm more than 100% positive this motherfucker had enough money to pay for a fucking accountant to deal with his taxes. So the fact that someone like Jake Paul has over $2 million owed in taxes, I gotta ask, why hasn't he paid it off? He obviously has the money. Oh wait, he probably doesn't, because as we all know, people don't really like Jake Paul anymore. His fans of 2015 grew up and realized, ew, Ew, I used to like Jake Paul. Ew, that's nasty. And even the fans of today are gonna grow up and realize what a shitty taste in entertainment they once had as 9-year-olds. I mean, I hate to say it, but I wish the best for him. I hope that he can pay it off. I hope this teaches him to make smarter decisions in the future. But considering that this tax lien was put on him back in 2019, I have my doubts. I don't think he's gonna learn from this. I don't think he's gonna pay it off. And hopefully, as a result, he'll spend a couple years, maybe a couple decades in federal pound me in the asshole prison, and maybe only then he'll learn his lesson. But yeah, this segment's going on for way too long. Let's just get back to the regularly scheduled programming. Meanwhile, Scottsdale authorities dismissed local charges against Paul so that the federal authorities could take over the investigation. Now, I find this to be quite an interesting turn of events because the whole riot situation that happened in Scottsdale, as terrible as it was, Jake Paul, although he did take place in the rioting and looting, which was definitely a huge no-no, and definitely not something I agree with, and definitely a fucking retarded thing for him to do, I don't know why the FBI have decided to take over. Why would the Bureau, take over and investigate Jake Paul over this? It seemed more of a local kind of thing, so it seems kind of, weird that the Scottsdale authorities dismissed it and, insisted that the Federal Bureau of Investigation and take over this fucking investigation going on. It just seems a little weird to me. I'm not too sure what's going on with the legal charges pending. However, hopefully this article does provide a deeper insight. Calabasas, California. FBI agents on Wednesday morning served a search warrant at the sprawling Calabasas home of YouTube personality Jake Paul, seizing multiple firearms in raid that was connected to a riot at the Arizona shopping mall, the Bureau said. Quote, the FBI is investigating allegations of criminal acts surrounding the incident in Scottsdale's Fashion Square in May of 2020, the Bureau said in a statement, adding that a search warrant was also executed in Las Vegas, but no arrests were immediately planned, no other details were disclosed. Air 7 HD was over the scene as multiple firearms that were scattered across the Calabasas property, including a long gun propped up against a hot tub in the backyard, were confiscated by the authorities. Paul was not home at the time of the raid, according to his attorney. Now, I don't know what to think about this whole situation personally. It was mentioned that the firearms were seized. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know what gun laws are like in California. I don't know if it's any different in Calabasas or whatever the case may be. Perhaps maybe the guns he owned were illegal. Now, I did manage to find the Air 7 HD footage of the authorities confiscating Jake Paul's weapons, as you can see right now, and I do find it to be quite interesting personally that as to why Jake Paul had these weapons. He obviously has every right to have whatever weapons he wishes to have. That's not the issue here. The issue rather is the fact that he has kind of a strong stance in terms of being anti-gun, as you can see in this tweet right here, where essentially he expresses a lot of these gun control measures being put into place and such. So it's kind of, weird that he has multiple firearms, and these aren't little puny fucking handguns that shoot fucking small calibers and shit. No. These are fucking rifles, and some of them appear to have scopes on them and shit. Now again, I'm not here to say that he can or cannot own weapons. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I just find it to be quite odd and even a little bit hypocritical that he has had previously had pretty anti-gun stances in the past. Yet now, as you can see here, he has some, pretty heavy rifles. Which I'm not too sure what the gun rights in Los Angeles, California or Calabasas, California are like. So perhaps these are legal and they're just seizing it, for evidence or whatever the case may be. Or maybe these are illegal weapons, but according to the statement by the FBI, confirms that there's no arrests immediately planned. In early June, misdemeanor charges were filed against Paul following a riot at a mall outside of Phoenix. Paul said he was merely trying to find people protesting against the death of George Floyd. The Scottsdale Police Department said that Paul was identified as a participant in the riot at the location and was charged with criminal trespass and unlawful assembly. Paul denied the looting and he said he wanted to, quote, share our experience and bring more attention to the anger felt in every neighborhood we traveled through. In a news release Wednesday, Scottsdale Police said that the local charges had been dismissed. It's been decided the cases charging Jake Paul, Amandi Exati, and Andrew Leon, it is now in the best interest of the community to dismiss the misdemeanor charges without prejudice so the federal criminal investigation can be completed, the police statement said, referring to Paul and two others who had been charged in the case. So yeah, I'm still not really familiar with how the police shit works. I'm not entirely sure why they decided to put it onto the FBI to investigate. Obviously, I'm not really too familiar when it comes to law and, police and shit, so obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt. However, I just gotta ask, how is it in the best interest of the community to dismiss these misdemeanor charges? I mean, wouldn't going through with these charges be in the best interest of the community? I mean, going forward with it, you can press these charges against him, and even though he might not be able to face actual jail time, he might need to pay fines to the community, or perhaps do community service or whatever. Then again, he's a celebrity, so he'll probably get away with it scot-free no matter what. Now let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? Do you think it's right of them to dismiss these charges? Do you think it's wrong? Just let me know what you guys think. Do you think, that the FBI investigating him will, prove to be a good thing? I don't know personally. I'm not really a law expert, so if there's any law experts watching my videos, please definitely let me know in the comment section down below. However, the article continues to talk about a party that Jake Paul hosted, where a bunch of people weren't wearing face masks. The article continues by saying, Mayor Alicia Wintrav expressed outrage over the large party, which took place despite rising coronavirus cases, hospitalizations, and deaths in California. Videos of the house party went viral on social media, where Paul himself has some 20 million followers. One tribe learned of the party when residents complained, telling her they saw tons of people walking on the streets unmasked and then gathering. I am very upset that somebody would hold such an outrageous gathering in our community, the mayor told ABC News, noting that the city had recently enacted a policy of issuing a minimum $100 fine for not wearing a facial covering in public. We're trying to do everything we can to get our numbers down and keep our community safe, and something like this is just doing the opposite. Now, I definitely understand her outrage for such a situation going on. I think these fucking parties are ridiculous and stupid. However, I also think that people have the right to have these parties. If Jake Paul wants to, fucking infest his entire audience with a bunch of coronavirus cases and shit, let him. If everyone goes to that party and gets the coronavirus, well, shit. Isn't that just fucking Darwinism? You dumbasses are going out partying without a mask, without social distancing, without a little bit of fucking hand sanitizers or some soap and water. So yeah, if you get coronavirus and fucking die from it because you're a fucking retard that went to a fucking Jake Paul party, then you probably do deserve to die, and I definitely do not show any sort of sympathy for those who die because they made a dumb decision like this. It's like drinking and driving, if you fucking crash into a tree because of your dumb actions which leads to your death, I mean, I can't really feel that much sympathy for you because you did the stupid decision of driving while under the influence. So much like a DUI, how there could be potentially a victim because of someone's stupidity, the same can be applied to these parties, because of somebody's stupidity, they could become asymptomatic and spread the virus to people who are just immunocompromised. So, I mean, honestly, what do you guys think about this? Personally, for me, I think that people should be allowed to host these parties, and if people decide to go there and they fucking die because they get the coronavirus, so be it. However, the moment that an innocent bystander gets sick because asymptomatic person who went to a party spread it to them is why I have the true issue. Because as a community, we can't just stop doing our day-to-day stuff. We can't stop going to work. We need to go to work. We need to go down to the grocery store and get, the food, the water, everything that we would normally need, Again, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about these parties? Again, I definitely do think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, come on, dude. There's a fucking coronavirus pandemic going on outside. What are you thinking, That being said, though, hope you guys enjoy the video. Social media links are in the description. Make sure to follow me on there, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Discord, BitChute, and, of course, Storyfire. All that being said and done, though, hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you are new, and click the bell notifications if you haven't already. That being said, though, this is the end of the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Goodbye. And farewell.
Yo, there's police here again.